Today's episode of Behind Bali Abundance, I'm shooting from my beautiful Joglo, 20 minutes outside of Ubud, which is a place I love to come and stay. This episode is really where my journey began. I guess my love affair with Bali started when I was about 18 years old. I came on my first overseas holiday with two girlfriends, and we stayed in Bali for 1 month. Very different back then, and we had an amazing time. Then at 21, I headed off on an overseas adventure to Europe, but left Australia with a one-way ticket to Bali and travelled across Java and Sumatra on the local buses, and then leaving Sumatra and heading off to Europe. And then again on the way back, we felt like we needed to get a bit more of the Bali sunshine. So our last stop before going home 14 months later was also back in Bali. I then came again on my honeymoon and stayed in Bali and had a magical time. But then after that, we had three beautiful children, and money was a bit tight. So for 20 years, I never got back to Indonesia again. Then when my eldest son was 18, I really wanted to bring my children on an overseas holiday. So I convinced Steve that we needed to redraw on our mortgage because we really didn't have the money for an overseas holiday, and we took our three children to Bali. It was an amazing family holiday, one that they all still remember. And we actually did have another family holiday after that here as well, which was also amazing. On that trip is really where the seed was planted to start my business. I remember on the plane my daughter met a lady who was importing jewellery and selling it wholesale to country Victoria shops. And then when we got to the hotel, there was a rather loud American man who was kind of boasting about how much money he was making selling clothing in America, and that he'd basically given up another successful business because this was much better, and he loved the lifestyle. So whether everything he said was true or not, I don't really know, but he certainly made me start to think about what I could do and how I could start a business here. So constantly my mind was ticking about what I could buy and what I could sell. Before I left, I'd seen this big Buddha painting in the local frame shop in Moonee Ponds, and it was quite expensive. And then on the beach I started to see people trying to sell me Buddha paintings, and so then I started to bargain really quite hard. It was a bit of a game to see how cheap I could get them for, because I was trying to sell them. And I did bargain them down quite a bit, so I bought a few and rolled them up and put them in my suitcase. I was then going around to shops to try and find some better quality ones than what I had found on the beach, and got a few contacts there. But my kids actually got sick, so I didn't get any more paintings. But once I got home with the stock that I did have in my suitcase, I took it to the same framing shop that I'd seen the Buddha painting, and they actually bought everything, including the statues that I bought. So I sort of at least tripled my money. So this got me excited, and then with the card I got from another shop that had paintings I really liked, I texted him and organised to get some more paintings sent over. So it was a bit of a standoff as far as trust, because I hadn't met him, he hadn't met me, because he wasn't at the shop at the time I went there. But in the end, we both trusted each other. I sent him the money, he sent me the paintings, and then I headed off door to door to framing shops trying to sell them. But unfortunately, I wasn't as successful as the first time, and sort of got a bit disheartened. And I guess Bali Abundance then got put on hold. So it was 2006 when I first started, and then sort of hit a bit of a hole, and just lost interest. So stay tuned to how I got out of that hole.